Greetings, people. It's Bunny Love. I'm back with another review. This one is on Zsalynn. Let me just say, this was not one of my favorite episodes, okay? I had to sit and rewatch this because it's older. It's about 5 years old. She's made tremendous progress since this time, but in order for me to actually review it, like really get it right, I had to sit there and watch it again. I didn't care for the way the husband treated her. I didn't. And it's crazy because even though I didn't care for how he behaved, he acted like a complete and total jerk. It was to be expected. You know, I expected it. I didn't care for it, but I expected it. Because that's not how he married her. He didn't marry her that way. He married her as a big, beautiful, confident, big girl. And as she began to evolve into something else, he couldn't handle that. He just lashed out and had a tantrum because he wasn't getting his way and he was losing control. So this is why I didn't particularly care for that episode. But before I even get into any discussion about Zsalynn, I want to say a few things. I am totally okay with anybody that does not agree with my commentary. I'm fine with that. I wanted to get that out there. You do not have to agree, but I am not one of those types that if we disagree, then automatically we got a beef or we're not, we're at odds because we have a difference of opinion. I'm not far from 40 years old. And at my age, I don't have time to be going back and forth with people and we've got animosity toward one another because we didn't agree with each other. I'm too old for that. At my age, you should, and I feel like this is where I am. At my age, you should be at a point where you respectfully disagree with people. Okay, we see this two different ways. I don't agree with you, but I respect your opinion. Just as long as you respect mine. I'm not with that. We're gonna, not like each other, or we're gonna have foul words with one another from now on because we didn't see things the same way about a particular subject. I get people that come through and cannot stand my commentary all the time. That's cool. But I'm not gonna, oh, bitch, fuck you. And no, that's your opinion. It is what it is. And I think a lot of my commentary about these cast members is attacked because I don't really feel sorry for them like that. And I do believe in tough love, especially from family. Okay? You have to be tough. You cannot pacify these people and enable them. That's how they got to where they are in the first place. Somebody enabled their asses in order for them, most of the time, for them to get like that. You want to save their life? Be tough. Period. You cannot help somebody more than what the fuck they want to help themselves. At the end of the day, that's what it is. So I just wanted to speak on that. I'm not going to be, fuck you. No, that's not going to be all that. We just don't agree, and then we move on from there. It seems like people try to start debates because they don't get it. As far as what it really, truly, maturely means to respectfully disagree. And you're not going to get no debate out of me on here. I say what I had to say and then I move on. So let me go ahead. And let me get into this review. Okay, so we got Zsalynn Whitworth. At the time, she was 42 years old. She was 550 plus pounds from San Antonio, Texas. We start off with a shower scene Then she's up in the living room watching TV, and in the voiceover, she speaks about how much she just doesn't like her life. She hates her life. She's not happy with it. Who is really happy at 500 plus pounds? Who's really happy with that? I don't think anybody is. I mean, people might put on the front as if they are really truly happy with being 500 pounds, but come on, that's bullshit. Nobody's really happy with that shit. You know what I mean? So she talked about her childhood, and she was saying that her mother said she was not allowed to lick envelopes or postage stamps because they may have calories in it. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm not going to say that her mother didn't tell her that. Maybe she did. I mean, you have some people, family members, when they're big like that, they get embarrassed by their family member, and they get so serious about whatever it is that they consume, and that could have been true. I'm hoping she was exaggerating and she didn't have a mother that was that verbally abusive or that way, but that's what she said, so we gotta go by what she says. She said her mother told her being fat was just not an option. You have some parents like that. They're not with their child being big. They want the child to be a healthy weight. Not really so much because of their health reasons, but because they just don't want to be embarrassed by them. It's all about the reason. It's all about why. You're supposed to love your child regardless, but in this case, her mother did not want that. So probably because she was embarrassed, but whatever. Okay, so next scene, she goes grocery shopping. She's in a scooter. She's riding around in the grocery store getting all this unhealthy shit. She gets a box of donuts. Let me talk about these donuts, okay? She gets these donuts. She talks about how she has a real serious addiction to sugar. And when she's sitting in the car and she first opens that box of donuts, she gets back to her car and she takes a donut out of the box and she says, "I just want to make love to this donut with my mouth." Really? Really? You're that addicted. You're that addicted to food. Like hey, she was keeping it real. I can't fault anybody that keeps it real. I mean, she told the truth. She was honest about how she felt about that donut. She's so addicted to sugar that she wanted for the donut, she wanted it to be like lovemaking with her mouth. Like, I'm about to go in with this sugary donut. Like, it's gonna make me calm and all that. I'm sorry. But that's how she was talking. She had the donut up to her mouth and it's like, oh my goodness. She was honest about how she felt about those donuts. But it was still disgusting. It was disgusting. But that was something. I'm reviewing this episode, right? Okay. So that was something right there that I had to speak on as far as the episode. That was like a classic. That was like one of the most classic things she said throughout the episode. So I got to speak on that, even though I thought it was crazy. But that's how she felt. So fuck that shit. Fuck it. Okay. All right. Okay. So so she goes back home. She's in her living room. She's continuing to eat these donuts. I do believe she ate the whole box in one sitting, which is just, it's disgusting. It's disgusting to consume that much food. Okay, so she said at 19 years old, she joined the NAFA, National Fat Association for Advanced Fat Acceptance. National Association for Advanced Fat Acceptance. Okay. I've never heard of such a organization. I didn't even know they had stuff like this for overweight people. I mean, well, I can believe it. We live in a big wide world. There's all kinds of shit out there. All kinds of shit. Shit we never heard of. Shit we probably never would have ever dreamed of. There's a lot of different things out here in this world. So, okay. So she joined this NAFA. She met a nice young lady named Bonnie. I really, watching this show, I really think Bonnie was her buddy. Bonnie was a good friend. Bonnie was great. I mean, that's somebody, well, at least the way they showed it and the way it looked. That was her homegirl. It was like her true homie, you know. She supported her every step of the way, even helped her with her daughter, with, taking her to the park and spending time with her. She was really good friend. Nice black lady from that same organization, and she was overweight at one time too. But she had the gastric bypass surgery, gastric sleeve, and she lost a lot of weight. So she did very well. She changed her life. Which is, this NAFA shit. I just, this organization, the way they talked about it and stuff, it was like, at the time, everybody seemed like they were so happy with being big and confident and all this, which is part of the reason why they got accepted into this organization. But let's just keep it 100. People are not truly happy with being that big, because if they were, you got her friend Bonnie that wouldn't have tried to get the gastric sleeve and did and was successful with it, and then eventually Zsalynn does the same thing. So it was just a bunch of BS. I think that organization, I'm not going to sit here and say that there are no heavier set people that are not confident in their bodies. There's always somebody somewhere that they somehow or another, you'd never think that that's what it is, but that's what it is. I mean, there's a couple people on YouTube, big women, big men, that are okay with being, well, at least they say they're okay with being that big. There may be a handful, but my personal belief is that nobody, or not very many people, I'll say, are truly happy with being that unhealthy. Who wants to carry around all that weight if they don't have to? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot. So the way they put it out there was like this organization was so hunky-dory, but I just think that's a lot of bullshit. Okay? So, all right. So her friend Bonnie speaks about how they met and how she was very impressed with her confidence. She was the rock star of the organization. Very ladylike, very dainty. Hair was always done. Nails was always done. She was very much impressed with her confidence and her self-esteem. I don't know. I just... That's one thing. I've always been, really, really serious about stuff like that. Just because you're big doesn't mean you can't be. If you're a lady, doesn't mean you can't still keep yourself like a lady. So that part I agree with. She did still have some level of healthy self-esteem to a degree. If she was still keeping herself up, you have some people that. Some women, they get that size and they just give up. They don't do anything. They don't get their hair done, their nails done, pedicures. They don't do anything. They just let themselves go. So that's cool that she was that way. At least at that size. But I still say she wasn't happy with being that size. Obviously not. She's on my 600-pound life and she got the surgery. So all of that at that time was just... it was BS. But One good thing did come out of it, though. She met her husband. Now, let me speak on that. The good part about meeting her husband was the child that came out of it, not actually meeting him, because I cannot stand that guy. I cannot stand him. He is an asshole, man. He's an asshole. His behavior was to be expected because that's not how he married her. He married her one way, and then she evolved into something else. So I get it. He had to redefine his role, which is, I get that, but he still didn't have to carry on that way. So she met her husband through this organization, and the child out of their union was the good thing, but definitely not him, And also I want to say too, I don't really know. I guess you could say it was control. I guess you could say that. I had a hard time, determining that. Obviously, at first glance, looking at their story, you would think, oh, well, he's just, he's losing control. That could be some of it. But I don't think that was the main thing. I think I think he really does like bigger women. Some men do. They just feel like, the more the ounce, the more the fucking bounce. You got more meat on you. That's more of a playground for me. That's how a lot of men look. Well, not a lot, but some men that are into big women, as far as sexually and physically. That's what they, that's how they look at it. I think that was more of his case. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. I think he had it was like a fetish for him to be with a big woman. It was like a sexual thing. So if he married her and she was big, and then she turns into this, she's on her way to turn it into this hourglass, that was going to cause him to feel some type of way. But my thing is, he could have felt some type of way, but he didn't have to act like that. I mean, he was outright nasty to this woman, and I'm about to get into that. So let me keep going on with the actual how the episode went. So let me continue here. So okay. So she talks about how she went skinny dipping in the pool with her big self at that time. I think she might have been like 400 plus. I don't think she was as big as she was during the episode when she did all the skinny dipping and traveling because of this organization and meeting people. And that might have been how she met her husband, how he was attracted to her, because she was big and skinny dipping and seemed like she was confident with her big body. She said she felt like Miss America. She was the star of the organization. So she set up a profile in her pretty little matching panty and bra set. And I think it was a profile that had some type of ties to the organization, and that's how she met her husband. The website, I think it was somehow or another, it had something to do with that organization. She said her self-esteem was high, and then even though it was high because of the organization, she kept gaining weight. But with the consistently gaining weight, her self-esteem dropped. So she had high self-esteem in the organization, but even still, as her weight got higher, her self-esteem just started to plummet. Next scene, she picks her daughter up from school, speaks on how she needs to get healthier for her child. Let me say something about that too. There's nothing wrong with getting healthy for the children, but you first got to get healthy for you. You first got to get healthy for you. You have to do what's right so that you can be here for the children. But if you're not in tune to you first, you're not going to be good for anybody. I feel like, and this is speaking from I'm a mother. Okay. I'm speaking from a mother's perspective. I have two. I have one grown and one just about grown. And I think they turned out very well. But you, it's nothing wrong with having your children in mind when you're trying to get healthy. I'm not saying that there is, but you cannot lose yourself in your children. You cannot make everything about them. She first needed to do this for her, and then her family. Then after that, her family will follow. You have to be in tune with you, as you know, yourself first, not in a selfish way, but if you lose yourself, you're not going to be good for anybody else. And that's basically what was going on in this situation here. She couldn't even take her daughter to the park. She would take her, but she'd be on the sidelines just kind of watching. And, she had her girlfriend, Bonnie, and I think she had another good friend of hers that would take her daughter out and actually interact with her at playgrounds and events and stuff. She couldn't do it. So if you're not taking care of yourself, you're no good for nobody else. You first take care of you for you, and then everybody else will follow. Then the next person in line is baby girl. You have to. You can't lose yourself in your family. So a lot of people don't agree with my input on that, but you can still be a good mother and, think about how you got to get yourself in order first. Because if you're fucked up, you can't help anybody else. Okay. So even the husband admits that, next scene, the husband admits that she's getting too big to do anything. If you know she's getting too big to do anything, then you should be okay with her losing some weight so that you all can get back to having, to doing things, going out, romantic dinners, walks in the park, outings. But that's not how he married her. He didn't want that. He wanted a big woman to satisfy his sexual fetishes. That's my belief. I think control played a significant role, but I don't think that was the main thing. He couldn't do what he wanted to do with her anymore in that bedroom. Okay. So, good friend Bonnie does fun things with her daughter that she should be doing. Well, I was just speaking of. The daughter, Hannah, she was such a sweet little girl. She claims that she wanted her mom to be involved. My heart broke for that kid, man. I'm telling you. I think what got to me the most was the scene where she basically called her father out. I mean, he was being a jerk and the child told him so. She's like, why'd you have to marry him anyway? That kid, I mean, she shouldn't have said all that, but that's how she was feeling at the time. That's a lot to say for a child, but for a child, that's a lot to say, but that's how she felt because they were arguing in front of her. They didn't have respect enough to take their disagreement away from the child. So you do that stuff in front of the child and she's going to clap back because she's probably sick and tired of that bullshit. She was tired, Okay. She speaks of how she needs to change for her daughter, and the husband speaks of how he's afraid she's gonna die. If you're afraid she's gonna die, why would you even marry a woman of that size? Because her health is declining when they get like that big. But he didn't think about all that in the first beginning. All he thought about was what he wanted to do with her. Okay, so an appointment is scheduled with weight loss surgeon Dr. Now. Dr. Now. She says she's afraid of what he's going to say. Bonnie, her good friend, goes with her to the appointment. Where the hell is your husband? Why your husband ain't go? Oh, it's because he don't want you to do this shit in the first place. Son of a bitch. He was just, ugh. I ain't gonna talk about him right now because I got to get back to him anyway. So let me move on. All right, so she weighs in at 596. She didn't want to see the scale. She knew that scale was going to say some shit she didn't want to see. Okay, so Dr. Now's assessment is that she feels like surgery is a quick fix. A lot of the cast members do. A lot of the cast members do think that. They don't want to put. A lot of them don't want to put in no work. So he gives her a 25-pound goal on her own to lose weight first. Bonnie says, "We'll help you. You're not by yourself." So she's got a good support system with her girlfriend. Real good support system. Next scene, friend Amy takes Hannah to the playground. Zsalynn watches from the sidelines. Can't participate in playing with her at the playground. That's one thing that should motivate you to lose weight. It should not be the first and foremost thing. First and foremost, it should be for you. But that should be next. You know, what you can do to get right so that you can be more active with the child. Okay, so by month 2, she weighs in at 569. She lost 28 pounds. The doctor's impressed and approves her for weight loss surgery. Next scene, she talks of how she doesn't feel support from her husband. Right. He at first told her that he was going to support her, but she feels he does not because he didn't think she'd actually do this. Correct. He probably thought she was just blowing smoke. You ain't going to lose no weight. Stop talking shit. Whatever. All right, you say you're going to go through with it, and I know you're not going to really go through with it. So I'll tell you I'm going to be supportive, but that's because I know you're full of shit. You ain't going to go through with it. But she actually did. You know, his thoughts was that she would not succeed, but she was succeeding. She was losing weight. Garrett admits he doesn't like her losing weight because he's more physically attracted to big women. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, he likes the more the ounce, the more the motherfucking bounce. That's what he likes. That's what he likes. He likes that. He that's fucking up his sexual fetishes now. If she losing weight, he ain't gonna be able to really get in there and do that thing with her like that. So that's a lot of the reason why he got mad. Okay. Next scene, she's in Houston to get the surgery. Bonnie and her daughter are in there. Husband is not. She wishes he could be there. So he didn't even show up for her day of surgery, which is fucked up. That's your husband. He ain't gonna be standing there next to you or by you. Come on now, you gotta get better with that. But if he didn't agree with it, it makes sense. He's not gonna show up to something he's not agreeing with. He don't agree with. So the girlfriend is there, her homegirl is there, and she's helping her. And she has the daughter with her, and they both sitting in the waiting room, just waiting and hoping for the best. And she's comforting the little girl, and she's a good friend. You don't come across too many people like that. Well, at least that's how it seemed on the show. We don't really know behind the scenes, this thing. But the way things, you know, the way they showed stuff on the show, that was a good friend. Surgery goes well. Bonnie comforts her daughter. She's a good friend. Sticks by her at the hospital. Next day, walks around the hospital with daughter. Husband calls. Doesn't ask how she's doing. Just how much has she lost. Yeah, that pissed me off. When he called her when she was in the hospital, he didn't say, "Hey, honey, I love you. How you doing? How you feeling? Are you okay?" None of that. He cut straight to the chase. How much weight have you lost? What kind of shit is that? Like, she just had major surgery. Even though you didn't agree with it, she just had major surgery. Okay, she could have had some type of serious issue that could have been permanent after surgery, or she could have been close to death or died. Well, if she died, you wouldn't have been able to talk to her on the phone, but she could have had something happen. The least you could have did, "Honey, are you okay? Are you all right? Is everything going good with you?" None of that. How much weight have you lost? I mean, that was the first thing he said as soon as she answered the phone. She was cool with it. If you like it, honey, I love it. But at the same time, that was not okay. To me, in my opinion, that was not okay. You know. So he just being a jerk, and she rushes off the phone. Toward the end of that telephone conversation, yes, he was being a jerk. So she got off the phone. So he's supposed to pick her up from the hospital. He's running late. He does pick her up. He says, "I'm not dieting with you." So after they leave the hospital, he goes to a drive-thru and he orders all this unhealthy food in her face. Son of a motherfucking bitch. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I curse. I curse in my reviews. Let me let me speak on that. Let me speak on that. Because somebody said something about that. They said, oh, she cussed too much. Well, hey. Yeah, I do. And that's how I felt about him. He was a son of a motherfucking bitch. Yes. You don't do no shit like that. You don't pick your wife up from the hospital the first day coming home from having gastric sleeve surgery, and you're going to a drive-through ordering all this unhealthy shit, trying to tempt her, and you talking about bacon and can you hold my food, and I got bacon on my food, and yum, yum, yum. Yeah, he was son of a motherfucking bitch, and I curse. If you can't stand the fact that I use profanity from time to time throughout my videos, I'm not the person you should be watching, because I'm not going to change that. You know, when I get passionate about something, I really feel, about something, yeah, a few cuss words going to fly out. That's me. I'm not going to change. Oh, it's not ladylike. Oh, well, if you don't think I'm ladylike, then get the hell off my channel. Okay, so moving on. She said I married a jerk, but I think he knows no other way. He knew. He knows. He having a temper tantrum. Sometimes men do that. Not all men. I don't want to categorize all men. I'm not male bashing or no shit like that. Sometimes men do that. Men are emotional too. They just have a different way of showing it. And when they're not getting what they want, that's how they act. I think he took that as a rejection. You're rejecting what I want because you're changing. So he was having a tantrum. He was just being an asshole because shit wasn't going his way no more. Okay. So next scene, she weighs in at 492. She lost 104 pounds since surgery. By month 5, she weighs in again. She lost 443. She's down 153 since surgery. So she was making progress. So Bonnie is with her during the weigh-in. Dr. Now says she's making progress but needs to lose more weight. She set a goal of 50 pounds for the next weigh-in. Next scene, meets with a fitness trainer and works out. Has a great workout. Next infamous scene, Garrett says instead of paying $50 for some silly workout class, you could have just worked out around the house pushing a vacuum around. Oh, he is an asshole. Son of a bitch. Like I said, he's just a jerk. He's a jerk. I mean, why would you say something like that to her? Why? Because you didn't want her to change. Okay. All of this is taking place in front of the child. That's the part I didn't like. Take that shit away from the child. You don't have to argue in front of that child like that. I mean, he had no respect at all. If he felt a certain type of way about, how she was progressing and getting healthier and saving her own life because she was really on her way to death's door, then you talk about that away from the child. Why would you do that? I mean, that's just fucking bastard. I just did not. This review is per request. Okay. I was going to do it anyway. But I wasn't going to get around to it this soon. Because I just wasn't up for watching his bullshit. I had to rewatch the episode in order to, really give my perspective on actual facts from the episode. So I have to refresh my memory and watch it again. But I wasn't really pressed to do this one yet. Because, and for those that don't know what the word press means, I use a lot of lingo. I'm sorry. I'm a black chick from Baltimore City, East Baltimore. From the hood. So I'm going to use some lingo that probably some of my followers are not accustomed to or used to. Okay, so pressed means I just wasn't, I just really didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? So that's what that means. You hear me use the word pressed, that's what I just wasn't pressed. I just didn't care to do it. I didn't give a fuck. All right, so let me wrap this up because we are in 34 minutes. So I'm trying to get this finished before 40 minutes. It might go longer than that, but okay. So yeah, so I was gonna get to it, but I just Stefan had requested this review. So anytime y'all request something, I'm gonna do it if I can, if I have time. So that's all right. He's a really good subscriber. He's very active and always interacting with my videos and commenting and stuff. So I don't mind doing that for people that are involved. So yeah. So, but I'm just saying, I would have got around to this later because I just wasn't in the mood for seeing his fuck shit. The husband is an asshole. So okay. So he asked, "What do you all want to eat for dinner?" Zsalynn says salad. Garrett says, "If you want to eat grass, just go in the garden and graze." I wanted to just jump through that damn TV and smack the shit out of him. You understand what I'm saying? He was just being he was not being supportive to her at all. If you did not want to, be with a woman like that, if her changing was that much of an issue for you, then you needed to just leave. You needed to, okay, all right, well, I'm going to file for divorce or I'm going to move out. We need to be separated or whatever the case may be. All that wasn't necessary. This episode got my emotions up because, okay, you didn't marry her that way. And I understand you wanted her to stay a certain type of way because you came into the marriage with her being one way. But that means you did not marry her for her. You married her for you, for your sexual desires, and so that you could, to a certain extent, have a certain level of control. So now that you're losing control, I don't think control was the complete reason, but I do believe control played a significant role. It was more about his sexual fetishes, though. It was a combination of both. If you didn't like it, then you should have just went on ahead and left. You son of a bitch. You didn't have to do all of that stuff in front of the child. I'm passionate about that kind of stuff. Don't do that in front of a child. The child should not have heard y'all arguing, period. It was a totally dysfunctional situation right there. I didn't like it. So the child screams, and then she says, stop. Why'd you have to marry him anyway? So then Zsalynn said, well, mommy, well, daughter, if mommy didn't marry him, I wouldn't have had you. And that's what I said in the beginning of this review. I said the only good thing that came out of her meeting this man, when she did at that NAFA, National Association for Fat People or whatever, she wouldn't have had the baby girl. So that's the only good thing came out of meeting this asshole, okay? So Hannah says, well, it wasn't worth it. She was just upset. Poor child didn't know she knew she was angry. You don't say it wasn't worth it, because if it wasn't worth it, you wouldn't be here, Hannah. But I get it. I get it. The child was upset. She was upset. You don't do that. So Garrett said, I agree, it wasn't worth it. Why would you? Oh, that bastard. I wanted to choke him. I just. He was worse than Chuck. You know Chuck from season 2. He was worse than Chuck. He was worse than Chuck. I mean, this bastard he went all in. He was honest about how he was feeling, but he went all in, and he didn't have to do all that. So, okay. Hannah says, I'm glad to be like my mom. And Garrett said, oh, you like your mom, all right. Let me stop talking about him, because that's getting my blood pressure up right now. Can't stand that son of a bitch. Treat that woman like that. Ought to be ashamed of himself. Okay, so by month 6, she was down to 399 pounds, so she had lost 198 pounds. Meets up at the park with personal trainer, works out. They do hand exercises. They walk for half a mile. I think she had a good trainer. The trainer was very supportive, from JK Fitness down there in San Antonio, Texas. After the workout, she goes to McDonald's and gets a large carbonated drink. I agree with that. You lost all this weight. Now, you're going to slip up. Sometimes you're going to slip up. I get it. You're human. Sometimes you slip up. Nobody's perfect. But you lost all that weight. You made all that progress. And you're going to go back to drinking Dr. Pepper. You know them carbonated drinks are not good for you. They stretch out your stomach after bariatric surgery. All that sugar. And you got to leave that stuff alone, man. But, okay, you're entitled one slip up. Maybe 2. But just don't be fucking up throughout the whole episode. Which she didn't. Majority of the episode, she made progress. So, okay, she goes home. Garrett is just picking at her. Asshole. All right, so by month 8, she weighs in at 399. She lost no weight. She admitted to the doctor that she's been drinking sodas, and she had ordered a soda through a drive-in. Doctor now gets mad. He says she's been cheating. Yeah, she's been cheating. But it's going to happen. If you're addicted, it happens. You're gonna fall. You don't have to, but it happens, But she eventually did get it back together. So by month 12, she was at the playground with her daughter. She said she was proud that she can do that. Next weigh in, she actually did lose some more weight. She was down to 349. So she lost 50 pounds. She twisted her ankle and she could not do the 5K with her daughter. So I'm sure she was feeling some type of way about that. She promised to do the 5K thing with her daughter, but they couldn't do it. They made dinner. They had dinner. She made spaghetti squash. I never heard of that before. When I saw that, I said, oh, that's interesting. So then I Googled it, and I said, spaghetti squash? Might have to try that one day. I might have to try making that in here for dinner one day. Me and my daughter. You know, it better be good. I can't see how spaghetti and squash, you could mix the two and it would be good. But maybe one day I'll try it. Who knows? But anyway, so Garrett is picking at her about her cooking. I'm not gonna speak on him anymore. I'm gonna leave him alone because it's part of the review. But fuck him. I'm not gonna speak on him anymore. Okay, because I just don't like his attitude. All right. So 2 weeks later, puts on a pair of jeans. She said, I'm just so glad I can finally wear jeans. Goes horseback riding with the daughter. And that was the end of the episode. I want to thank you all for watching my reviews. A lot of them are per request. I don't mind when I have the time. Y'all already know my situation and how busy I be and the things I be having to do. It is right now. It is literally 4:30 in the morning and I'm doing this review. I gotta work today, so I gotta be to work at 6. So I figured I might as well just get up, get dressed early, and do this review before I leave out for work. Thank you so much. As always, I love you. Peace and blessings. Description box has where you can find me on the net, on other social media platforms, and so does the end of this video. Take care. And check me out. Next review will be Betty Joe. Betty Joe is next. And before I go, I just want to say I was asked by several subscribers to review Amber Lynn. I made an actual post, a written post about it. Check out my posts about Amber Lynn. I was basically saying that I need a couple days to binge watch her videos. I've seen a few of them, but I need to watch them all in order to be able to give a complete review and perspective on her. Yeah, she's another wild one too, but she's not like some other people on here that have YouTube channels and like to show a bunch of bullshit. She's not broke and she's not living out of motels and I ain't gonna even get back into hospital beds. One thing about Amber Lynn, she's not a broke broad. She's big and living unhealthy, but she's not broke. So like some other people, but we ain't gonna go there. I'm not even going to get back into that. So anyway, I just had to throw that in there real quick. All right. So, yeah, just give me a couple days. I got to binge watch her shit, and then I can do a review on Amber Lynn. I'm out. Peace and blessings, y'all. I love you.